ẹ ti rí inú church yẹn ni o, inú church náà ti jíyàn gbé nù. ẹ ti rí ẹ wo àwọn èèyàn wà nínú church, ẹ ti rí. rí wọn ti ẹ̀ pa speaker, wọn pa anything, ó dàbí pé ibi tán gbà jáde ni. ẹ ti rí àwọn èèyàn, ẹ ti rí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. àfi k'Ọlọ́run gbà wá ni o, àfi k'Ọlọ́run gbà wá ni o.
There is no doubt that churches are now being targeted every Sunday. Every Sunday, there must be one church or the other being targeted by these jihadists called the bandits. Today, they did not spare some churches. One attack was repaired in Plateau State. They did not kidnap anybody because those people were prepared because they have been expecting all these things. Today, in Kogi State, they succeeded. And this Yoruba-speaking part of Kogi State, they have been under siege of these jihadists called bandits right from time. This church of Cherubim and Seraphim, Mr. Orlando is the pastor, the name of the pastor, and his wife, they were adopted during the church service. Imagine why praying to your God, maybe filled with the Holy Spirit. After 5 minutes, you see yourself in the bush with kidnappers, and you don't know whether you're going to survive it or not. The Christian persecution in Nigeria is like this. And a lot of people are not interested to understanding what is actually going on. So this happened in Ejiba. The name of the community is a town in Yagba West local government area of Kogi State. This is so unfortunate. Now, after the incident of Kwara State happened, people who are following me or people who are listening to me, I gave an advice that, see, if you can't wage all these attackers because of their sophisticated weapon, if you can't gather intelligence around your vicinity and possible attack that is coming, try to go live. And while going live, do an arrangement. Some churches reach out to me, they complain about not having funds to buy cameras and so on and so forth. I advise them. Now, today, I am not the one that do this, but I ask people to do it. We monitored almost 5 churches in the rural area. And I'm not the one that did it, but I told them how to do it. Why going live during the church? It doesn't take anything to also go live, watch it live with the other phone in your house or someone who is elsewhere. And while they are watching, let them screen record it. I'm not trying to give you a technology that you might not even know the technical know-how to operate it. This is just what everyone having phones can do. Your church service is about 2 to 3 hours. You can screen record with even 1 to 2 gig for that 2 to 3 hours. And after the church service, you delete it. Because if you are recording in the church service and attack came, they started shooting, the person who is screen recording it, even though they delete it or they stole the phone, the recording is there. You know why? We need this video evidence to trigger the necessary action. We need it. So we have been saying this, right? It doesn't take anything for you to have this video evidence. Now, some people will come, if you can't challenge them, you don't have gun. At least do the one you can do. Just imagine. The video they gave us is only this video you are seeing on the screen. That is the video they brought to us, and that is what someone videoed after the attack. So there is no video during the attack. No video during the attack. Come on, social media is ruining this world today. We can do better. We can go live, and that live you are going, you can even go it private, or you tag someone, you put it unlisted. Everybody on public must not even see it. You can tag only somebody that you want to screen record it. You can do that. Or you share the link with them. So if anything happened in the church, they will have a raw footage. Let me tell you, if they had recorded the incident that happened, by now, you could have seen it on Fox News. You could have seen it on different international news media. We will distribute it. What are we doing again? What are we doing? So even the people we are sharing this video with, all these international news media organizations, they are happy receiving it. And upon receiving it, they also try to make confirmations, like placing call with people who are from the area. They will ask us, is there any member or relation to the people they kidnap? They ask us some questions, of which we do provide it for them, just for them to be sure that the information you are providing for them is accurate. That is journalism. So if we are not seeing and video evidence to provide to these people, they will still announce it. They have been informed already. Many people have been informed about what happened in Kogi right now. But the truth is that announcing it, maybe they will try to reach out to people from the church and they will interview them. How the incident happened to become an eyewitness interview. So maybe from tomorrow now, we'll have someone who can come to talk to Fox News about it and all these things. But we need video, evidence. So if you have a church in the rural area, if you don't understand what I'm saying now, contact me. It doesn't take money to do this. You just need your data to do this, for God's sake. You just need your data to do this. So you must do something to help yourself, because these are jihadists. They don't want to stop. They have a plan. Like on my next video, expect it. I'll be publishing, the root basis of Sharia, how people brought Sharia to Nigeria, their mission statement, and you could see that they want Nigeria to become a Sharia state. That is what they said. They said it is a dream of every Muslim in Nigeria to have a Sharia state. That is my next video. I'm going to expect it. What am I saying? When we come out to make videos like this, we are not doing it because of any religion or any tribe or this or that. We are doing it because of the reality we know, because of the truth we know, because of the understanding of what is going on. We have a special and different understanding from the general public. A lot of people still think that this is just terrorism, or this is just act of banditry, or this is just act of kidnap for money. Oh, some people just think that this is only a political tool. It's just politicians that are using it to fight. It is beyond all these things. We know. We understand it. And that is why I am telling you that if Nigeria remains like this, next 50 years, are you going to continue this fight till then? Next 20 years, next 10 years, next 30 years. God forbid that Nigeria remain like this. God forbid. Because this fight is a perpetual fight. Then from Afghanistan, then from what happened in Iran, then from what happened in Lebanon, then from what happened in Turkey, then from what happened in these places. The kind of Sharia state these people want, it's not like Qatar, it's not like United Arab Emirates, Dubai. These people want a country like Afghanistan. They want Taliban type of country. This is the honest truth. And I actually want people to, be conscious of this. Elections, they are preparing these people because of, their agenda. They will continue to use them to carry out evil activities. Everything they are doing is towards one mission. Who are they going to fly in 2027? Everything is in this mission of Islamizing Nigeria. They can lie to you. They can tell you that, no, this is this, this is that, this is this, this is that. But they have a mission. Is it not 2023 they said that no any other religion will rule in Nigeria apart from Sharia? I still have the video, apart from Muslims. And Islamic cleric made that statement. Why? Because anytime a Muslim is not on that seat, it becomes like how would I put it now? A blockade to the agenda, something that restricts them not to move fast or as they plan. And I am not a fan of Tinubu, you all know. You see, Tinubu was brought in as an Nnamdi to do all these plans. And Tinubu is finding it difficult to fight the real threat by releasing the name of terror sponsors. He can't. This is the reason why he can't. But Tinubu don't want to just bow down and do everything they want him to do. And they want him removed by all means. It will take a stiff fight if Nigeria still exists till the time of election 2027. It will take a stiff fight for Tinubu to win the election. Because these people will do everything to remove him, just like they did to Goodluck. So I am not a new person when it comes to all this political dynamics and this election insecurity they used to sponsor. And these people are not going away. Now, let me tell you, if Nigeria becomes a Sharia state today, all these crimes you are seeing today, it will not stop. They will continue to persecute even those people who will convert that is not their person. It is more of ethnic. So the ethnic, all this Fulani militia ethnicity they are using, even though they are carrying religion as a tool of doing it to gain the sympathy of some Yorubas and some Hausas, Efik, all those people who are Muslims, they still have reservation that if you are not a person, you are still in trouble. And that is why I have been advocating that Nigeria should not remain like this. Akpabio will come and go. Tinubu will come and go. The problem will remain. Why can't we just face the problem once and for all? And for me, I think this is just the sole purpose why everybody in the position of authority hate Nnamdi Kanu. They hate him. Why? Because they see him as a threat to this agenda. Anyway, you might not understand what I'm saying.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Ẹ wo, èmi kàn hide ni o. Inú church kan ti gbéyàn ní Ejìbà yẹn nílé. Inú church yẹn ni. Òkè ibi tán gbà lọ lélẹ̀. Ẹ wo ibi tán gbà lọ. Inú church yẹn ni o. Ibi tán ti jíyàn gbé l'Ejìbà. Òun lẹ̀ ń wò yìí. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ gbà wá o. Ẹ gbà wá o, inú church yẹn ni o. Bàbá Orlando. That is bàbá tó ní tó jẹ́ head of this church. Bàbá yẹn náà gbé lọ. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ gbà wá o. Inú church yẹn ni. Kò sí nǹkan nínú ilé báyìí. Ẹ ti rí. Inú church yẹn ni o. Inú church tán ti jíyàn gbé ni. Ẹ ti rí. Ẹ ti rí. Ẹ wo, àwọn èèyàn wà nínú church. Ẹ ti rí. Rí, wọn ti ẹ̀ pa speaker, wọn pa anything. Ó dàbí pé ibi tán gbà jáde ni. Ẹ ti rí àwọn èèyàn. Ẹ ti rí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. Àfi k'Ọlọ́run gbà wá ni o. Àfi k'Ọlọ́run gbà wá ni o.
The terrorists killing people in northeastern part of Nigeria are not from Congo. They are not from Malawi. They are not from Namibia. They are not from Egypt. They are northerners and they are Muslims. The bandits in the northwestern part of Nigeria, they are not from Senegal. They are not from Mali. They are not from Morocco. They are not from Guinea or Guinea-Bissau. They are Fulanis from the northwestern part of Nigeria. So it is for us to solve the problem. It is not for anybody to solve the problem. They are not speaking Chinese, they are speaking Fulani language. They are not speaking Spanish, they are speaking Hausa language. They are not speaking Mandarin, they are speaking Kanuri languages. When will the North sit down and address the whole of these bandits and terrorists? Are not more than 5,000 people.